Hello, and welcome back to my channel. A few days ago, the Carlin brothers made a video about what if Sirius Black had been the Potter's secret keeper. How would that change the story? Well, here is my take. So we understand that the prophecy is about Harry and Neville. It is right, the prophecy is about both of them. Take Neville out, Voldemort wins. Take Harry out and Voldemort wins. So, while Harry is the chosen one, Neville is also the chosen one too. Let us assume that Neville's parents die, and he gets that cool lightning bolt scar. Voldemort is defeated for the first time. The Death Eaters torture James, Lily, Remus, and Sirius, eventually killing them. They then turn to the Dursleys and kill Petunia and Vereen, but the Malfoys kidnap Infant Dudley thinking he is Harry. They think he got blonde hair from a distant relative. Dumbledore, having Hagrid, brings a real Harry to the Burrow and arranges for Molly and Arthur to adopt him. Hagrid is delighted with this plan. As so Harry and Ron become brothers. Now we know in this universe magic is transferred genetically. When the Malfoys discover they got the wrong kid, because Dudley is a muggle, they lock him in the cellar. Interestingly enough, they do not kill him because that would attract attention. They make him their slave. Plus, the Malfoy family would grow to love their captive son and turns him into their slave. One night, Draco wants Dudley to sleep with him as a reward for good behavior. It is a known fact that sleeping with another human is a bonding experience. Harry Potter - Weesly. Yes, I think Harry would keep the Potter surname to honor his dead parents, grows up in a loving home and is treated well. He learns about the Longbottoms as well as his own parents. The Weasleys even take Harry to their gravestones every year. Harry would call them Mom and Dad. However, he knows who James and Lily were. Harry Harry would still get his letter from Hogwarts and meet Hagrid in Diagon Alley as well as Quirrell. But interestingly enough, the Wesely would reveal that Harry was loaded. He would then meet Drago and Dudley, but Dudley would be wearing a pillowcase just like Dobby or some sort of bondage apparatuses with a collar and leash. Draco would call Dudley servant or slave. When Harry asks Dudley anything, Draco answers for him. If Dudley speaks, Draco smacks him and eventually gags him. Draco would say he was going to punish Dudley for being a bad boy. I imagine Draco being gay. The rest of the first book then goes as originally. They meet Hermione. Harry gets the stone. However, Neville helps out a lot and does not get in the way. They stop Quirrell. Dumbledore destroys the stone. Year 2 starts out with Harry feeling awesome. But dark forces looms closer. Dobby and Slasher Dudley comes to warn Harry that they must not go to school that year. Harry, however, don't listen, so Dobby prevents him from getting onto the platform. Now, because Ron never had to get Harry from his bedroom, he doesn't know how to fly his father's car. Snape still finds them, brings them to his office. But that is okay because their parents fly them to school. But because Muggles saw him, Arthur still gets into trouble. The only reason Fudge does not fire him is because of Harry. Ron and Harry both get Hallowers, but not as bad because of the events that was removed. Ron's wand gets broken, but because Harry is his brother, he gets him a new wand within days. Ron keeps his broken wand for sentimental reasons. Lockhart is still a fraud. Ginny opens the Chamber of Secrets, and the basilisk goes around purifying pepper-feeding people. Lockhart would start a dueling club, so Harry learns Expelliarmus. Lewis gets Dumbledore fired. They get the dairy and Harry learns about Tom Riddle, also known as Lord Voldemort. Ginny goes to the chamber, but this time it has Harry, who is yelling at Lockhart not. Well, I would assume both of them because Harry would be defending his little sister. Now, because Ron still has his broken wand, it still backfires when Lockhart uses it. Harry still defeats the fragment of soul in the diary, but because he grew up knowing magic, he starts investigating. Up to this point, our story isn't even much different from the original. But this is where it gets dark. Because Lupin and Sirius are dead, and the chamber was open, Fudge gets paranoid really fast. Fudge appoints Umbridge their third year. Yes, Umbridge. Umbridge makes Harry's life awful. But because Lupin never makes an appearance, Harry don't know what a good defense against the dark arts teacher really is. So, Harry never forms Dumbledore's army. However, Snape would give Umbridge a sleeping draft so he can teach the practical stuff. Snape is still loyal to the good guys. He wants to see the end of Voldemort. If it takes feeding a professor sleeping potions, well, so be it. He is morally neutral, tends on the side of good. Umbridge never catches on to what Snape is really doing, and so Snape slips below the radar and covertly teaches both subjects. The fourth year starts, and because the war is raging, the Quiche World Cup never happens. It is also too dangerous for the Triwizard Tournament. Umbridge still is in power, but Snape, having mastered Imperius, makes her his puppet. Umbridge is not that strong of a witch. Meanwhile, the Death Eaters are targeting Molly. Umbridge, under Snape's control, teaches defensive magic. She is really powerful when she is under Snape's control. However, to get Harry to the graveyard, the Death Eaters take Molly. They implant a vision of Molly being killed and fed to Nagini. This freaks Harry out and he runs to save her. But this is a trap to restore Voldemort. Voldemort and Harry still duel, and Harry sees all his loved ones. And Petunia and Uncle Wolverine tells Harry that Dudley, the boy he saw, is his cousin. He needs to rescue him. Then his relatives rush Voldemort. Harry takes the cup back to the beginning of the maze. He tells Dumbledore everything. He then demands Draco to let his cousin go. Draco says, or what? Draco will tell Harry that Dudley is his boyfriend, and he will not give him up. Harry says, or you will die first. Right here, right now. Draco, the coward, would agree. Draco sends Dudley to the burrow immediately. Dudley, now free, meets Harry for the first time in his life. However, with no formal education, Dudley acts as if he was a 3-year-old. This makes Harry and Ron care for him. Anytime Harry has his wand out, Dudley flinches because he associated magic with pain. Arthur suggests institutionalization. However, Harry is against that. He would rather see Dudley in his care for the rest of his life rather than sending him to an institution. Dumbledore seeing Dudley in this state reminds him of Ariona. He suggests Dudley alive in the Shrieking Shake after they fix it up and only the Weasleys, Harry, and him know the password to get in. Harry agrees. This means that Harry is now Dudley's single quote-S guardian. Harry never forgives Draco for destroying his cousin, and any time Draco brings up Dudley, Harry yells at him and curses him. Dudley, after a while, forgets the abuse his old family inflicted on him and asks to see them, but Harry keeps him occupied. Molly helps out too. While that was going on, Neville and Harry would be learning about Horcruxes. Harry would be so angry that I believe he would want to come on the Horcrux hunt with Neville. However, Harry could not bring his now mentally disabled cousin along. He debates with himself about euthanizing Dudley. Right after Dumbledore dies at the hand of Snape, Dudley strays into the path of Bellatrix and Harry, not thinking pulls him to safety. This freaks Draco out too. After the battle and as they are planning Dumbledore's funeral, Harry decides he would want to kill his cousin before a Death Eater did. He lets Dudley pay his respects, then Harry pulls out his wand, gives Dudley a hug, then as he was hugging him, Harry kills him. Dudley's body is buried next to his mom, dad, and Aunt March. Ron comforts Harry, saying that Dudley is in a better place and safe. After that, Harry, Ron, Hermione, and Neville goes hunting Horcruxes. Ron, once they get the locket, still feels resentment towards Harry and throws Dudley in his face. Harry slaps Ron and says, "I worry about our family too." Notice Harry uses our family, reminding Ron he is his adoptive brother. Ron would snap back to reality before abandoning them. Harry would say that day I had to kill Dudley was like watching Bellatrix killing my birth mother. Thus they would never be delayed in their quest. Without the delay, the Battle of Hogwarts would happen sooner. Draco, who would be angry at Harry for taking his boyfriend, would try to kill him. Harry would be mad and say that he was nothing but an object. Draco would roll up his sleeve and Harry would see a tattoo of a heart with D&D. Do you think he was an object? He would yell about it, Harry. If you think that I would want him dead, you are the biggest fool ever, Potter. I was protecting Dudley. Potter, I am gay. Your cousin was my boyfriend. I only treated him like that in public to keep up an image. As that exchange was happening, Bellatrix would try killing Draco, but Draco would kill her first. Voldemort would still capture Hagrid, and he would still get the Resurrection Stone. However, Dudley would appear and tell Harry that Draco truly loved him and took great care of him. Harry apologizes. He did not realize that they were in love. Voldemort then killed him, but Harry comes back and they have their standoff. Harry would always win. After the war, Draco never dates or gets married. He never gets over Dudley. Draco falls into a deep depression and would kill himself so he could be with his one true love. Harry lays him with the rest of his family. The tombstone would have DD and DB. Thus Corpus never is born, which would mess up the cursed child, but we true Potterheads don't count as garbage. Harry marries Hermione and still has 3 kids. That is what will happen if Molly and Arthur adopted Harry. However, what do you think? Shout out to Ben Carlin of Super Carlin Brothers for suggesting this theory. What a wonderful idea and one I love. Check out his video by clicking the card or link is in the description below. I will see you soon.